Today I'll be showing you 10 ways to save more money. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Miri. Thank you so much for being here. When we talk about personal growth and mindset, a topic that comes up quite often is also money mindset. So today I'll be showing you 10 ways how to save more money, and it's actually quite fun. First up, we have cash envelopes, and if you've been around the money saving challenges on YouTube, you might have heard about it. If not, this is like a small binder. I got it off of Etsy, and then you can get these little envelopes that you can customize for bills or whatever you need to do. Investing, I have here, I have eating out, self-care. So all of these little pouches you can fill with cash, and the idea is that you would take off money off your bank account, or if you get paid in cash of some job, you would separate it into these different envelopes and only pay the things that you want to purchase off your envelope. So people will take these envelopes out if they're going out to dinner, and then at the end of the month, if there's nothing left in the envelope, they know, okay, I can't go out anymore. I've seen different versions of this where people would take out their whole money after paying the bills out of their bank account and separate it each month in their envelopes. I find it a little inconvenient, so I don't really do that, but there is no right or wrong here. For me, I work as a dance teacher, and sometimes I get paid cash, and I would take that money and separate it in those special envelopes, but I use it more as a saving tool. I'm not really going out with the envelopes and pay from that envelope. So as you saw, I have like an investing one. That's where I just put money in if I have money left over, and then I would bring it to the bank. For this next one, you will also need cash, but if you're a visual person, I find it very interesting and challenging, and it's like, it is a challenge. So, but you will feel so accomplished after doing that. And that is called the 100 envelope challenge. I have like this, I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. This template, but there's different ones. Again, I got it off Etsy. And what you basically do, either you're getting envelopes, like paper envelopes, and writing 1 to 100. And the idea is that you fill each of these envelopes with the amount that's on the envelope. So if you pull the envelope number 55, you would put $55 or your currency into that envelope. And then you can cross it off of your checklist, and you can color it or whatever. And then at the end, you have a big chunk of money saved. And I find it really, really interesting and really, rewarding. So I have I got these little envelopes here, for example. So this is 100, and you would open up the top, like you can see here, and would just put in the money with the corresponding number. So yeah, Etsy has a lot of different designs. So if you're interested in any kind of these little, here we go, any kind of these little envelopes, they're really fun, and they're a nice way to save some money if you struggle with that. Mine came in an actual box, so you can fill those to your liking. The next one is also with cash. The last one, I promised. I call it the $5 jar. You can do that with $1 bills or whatever your currency is, obviously, as well. But the idea is every time you get a $5 bill or a $1 bill, you put it in the jar and you don't spend it until the end of the year. Or you can do a half-year challenge. And I started this, I think, in March. And I would put $5 every time I get them. And sometimes when I need $5 or 10, I take it out and I put a 10 back. Just because I owe it to the jar. But it's a fun way, and at the end, like when you bring it to the bank, it's like, oh, cool. I didn't actually know like how much it is. If your currency has coins, and if you're in Europe, for example, you can do that with €1 or €2 as well. And I know I said that was the last part with cash, but one of my tips is actually using cash instead of cards. We're like in this digital world where you can pay everything with even your phone now with Apple Pay and all of that. And sometimes I think we're losing sight of how much we actually spend because it's so easily accessible. Like, oh, my card is on my phone and I'll just swipe it, or I have a credit card and I'll swipe that. And then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I spent a lot of money and I wasn't even aware of it. So if you have cash, whether that is using your cash envelopes or just taking out money from the bank to use cash in your day-to-day life, is an easier way to get more control of your finances, I find. What helped me tremendously was auto savings. I think a lot of bank accounts are capable of the possibility that you set up auto savings, whether that is every time you get paid, a chunk of your money goes to a separate savings account, or you're setting up a savings account that automatically withdraws money once a month, every 2 weeks or whatever. It's a little bit like out of sight, out of mind, because if it's getting taken away automatically, you don't even get the temptation to spend the money elsewhere. So I highly recommend that. On the same topic, I would also recommend a high yield savings account, and you can set up automatic withdrawings too. So basically how any high yield savings account works, you're putting in money and whatever frequency you want. I do that once per month, and then you get a higher percentage of interest onto your money that's in your bank account. It's not a lot, it's not going to make you rich overnight, but it's good for an emergency fund. It's good for short-term goal. It's even good for long-term goals. So that's just your money that stays away. I have a high yield savings account that acts as my emergency fund, because I found it hard to be like, oh yeah, I want to save money, but it's accessible if it's on your bank account. If you have a separate bank account, the high yield savings account usually are, these high yield savings accounts usually are, gets taken off, and you can just see your money grow because you get interest on top of your money that comes in every month, which is called compound interest. And the interest rates are way higher than the traditional banks. So usually if you're in the US, if you have Wells Fargo or Bank of America or Chase, the interest rate for your money, if it lies around there, is like 0.1%. And with inflation, it's just gonna eat up your money eventually. If you put that on a high yield savings account, you get, I think, 3 till 4.5% at the moment. It will vary, and it could potentially, and it probably will go down again, but that's way more than 0 point whatever percent the traditional banks give you. So I highly recommend setting up a high yield savings account. Subscriptions. These subscriptions are everywhere, and you can get a subscription for literally anything nowadays. So my suggestion would be just to go over your bank statements and check what subscriptions you actually have and which ones you're actually using. I can speak out of my own experience. I had this subscription for a magazine with the topics of self-development, personal growth, spirituality, everything I love. And in the beginning I was so eager to read it, and I read it consistently, but then, you know, things come up, and I just noticed that the magazines were stacking up, and I'm like, I don't even have time to read it. I don't even want to read it right now. And so I made the promise to myself to quit or cancel the subscriptions for now and just catch up on the things that I haven't read yet. And if I feel like I need to restart my membership, I can, but I saved a ton of money that way. Even maybe you have a gym membership that you haven't used, or I don't know, maybe you're not watching Netflix as much or any kind of different subscriptions. They really add up, and even if it's just like $10.99 a month, that's $10 you could spend somewhere else. Tip number 8, wait it out. And that goes especially for things that are more pricey. My tip is to wait it out, because sometimes if we're buying things online, I think we're doing it a lot on impulse. You see things, again, you use your credit card, order, purchase, and then it's there, and then sometimes you won't even use it after wearing it once or using it once. So I usually give myself at least 2 days, 2 full days to think about it. And if I still can not if I still think about it then, and I still think, oh, I really want it, or I really regret that I didn't buy it sooner, I will purchase it. But wait it out. This is such an important topic, especially if you tend to be like an impulsive buyer and just see things like, yeah, I have the money, let me just buy it right now. This is just a way to make sure that you actually want the things that you purchase. A thing I came to love in recent years is thrifting, using thrift shops or swapping or exchanging things with friends. Especially nowadays with this fast fashion industry, everything's like so cheap and affordable because it gets shipped from Indonesia or China or wherever. And these things are cheap, they're not really good quality, and it just makes you buy more and more, and eventually you're not gonna wear the stuff, you're not gonna use it enough, and then it lands up in the landfill. So I really love thrift shops, there's really great finds. Or do a swap with some friends. Like, oh, I have this shirt, I don't really use it anymore, do you have something that we can exchange it for? It's a great way to save money and to save the environment as well. And number 10 is investing. I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not a financial expert in any way, so I'm gonna link some people that I've watched on YouTube that have helped me a lot. I am investing in ETFs, which is basically a basket of stocks, different stocks. So it's a little more it's not risk-free, but it's a little less risky than just buying singular stocks, but whatever works for you. It's just, again, like a little bit out of sight, out of mind, and you can get the compound interest, and actually if the stocks are doing well or if the ETFs are doing well, you can use the money to buy more of that, and then it will exponentially grow your money. Again, I will link some awesome people below if you're interested in that. Just make sure you do your research first. Don't just buy any stock or any ETF because some person tells you to. It's a very personal choice. It depends on how much of a risk you want to take, if you are okay with taking a higher risk. Also make sure that you're not investing and getting into debt. Make sure your debt is paid first, and then you can start investing. Don't try to gamble your way into investing and just spend a lot of money and hope that you'll eventually be able to get out. That was it for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you could take something away. If you found this video valuable, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. What are your favorite money saving techniques? Maybe you have some way that I've never heard of and you want to share it with everybody. That would be awesome. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.